all kind of countries from the world. It's nice to see some pictures and a lot of names. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm Niels Mulvad. I'm the presenter. This is a demonstration session where we are looking into tools to clean data, and we are focusing on OpenRefine for this. I'm happy to see so many people just still joining in. Cleaning data is in general a very important thing when you're working with data journalism. You never get totally clean data, or perhaps once or twice in your life, else there's always some errors in them. And as a journalist, you want to be sure that what you are publishing is right. You're not saying if there is any error in the data, it's the fault of the authorities or any others. You try to be sure that you check the data and get it right when you publish it. And despite, or in addition to errors from the authorities or organization, you might also be the cause of errors yourself, and then you always have to be doing a different kind of cleaning of your data. And in many cases, cleaning is going on in Excel or another tool, but we are focusing in this session on OpenRefine, which are a tool dedicated to cleaning data, and which are very useful in many occasions, and which I use very often. And the aim is not that you should follow what I'm doing on the screen at home, but you will get my planning document and training material and Excel files to work with, so you, after this session, can try to repeat some of the things we did. And I hope the combination of the very precise plan for what I'm doing, together with a description of the different ways of doing things and the Excel files, will make you comfortable with the basic things in OpenRefine, and then be able to work with it yourself. Let's then start with looking into OpenRefine. And this is what you see in when you open OpenRefine. OpenRefine is opening in a browser, and normally opening it in Google Chrome is best. It's made original by Google, and it works very fine with Google Chrome. And it opens there when you click on this icon in the library where you downloaded the program to. And this means it's not running on another program. It's running inside Google Chrome, but still it's not working. It's not sharing your data with anybody on the web. You're working with your data on your own computer. And if you look at the left here, you have different options. You can create a project, and that will be the normal way of starting. If you already have worked with some project, you will be able to open a project. But we will create a project, and we will choose files for opening this, for creating this project. And we will go to the training file here, OpenRefine data, and there is a file here called prof, and you can see it has chosen this file called prof, and I click on next, and it's uploading the data, looking into the data. It hasn't actually imported it yet, but it shows me a view of the data, and I have to click over here to create the project. And now it's actually opening the file once more and creating a project. And I only see a very little part of the data in the left corner. And what we see here is a file with titles. It's part of one of the first tax files which ICIJ worked with. And the problem with this file is the way they spell these different titles are full of errors. So if you want to calculate how many of a specific title you have inside the file, you have to do some cleaning. You can see in total there are 140 rows, and the cleaning, it has already see that some of these things are identical, but if you want to clean more, you start by making a copy of this column, so you're not cleaning the original data, but you are ending up with data where you have the original data in one column and the clean data in another column, which make it easier later on to compare these things. So I go down to edit column, and I go down to add column based on this column. It means I make a new column with exactly the same information. And if I do this, you will see it gives me an interface where I could also do some kind of editing of the data before they were inserted in the new column. Here, just insert the exact same value, and I need then to give it a name, and I could call it title 2 and say OK. Now we have the original data here. We have the data we will clean in the other column here, and there are different cleaning possibilities in OpenRefine. There's one here, edit cells, where the most common transform are here, and we can trim leading and trailing white space, which mean if there's some kind of white space in the start or in the end of a cell, it will remove it. And there are different other possibilities of cleaning, but the main thing in cleaning is what is called facet. And we click on text facet, and we will see all the different titles out here in alphabetical order. And if I click on cluster, it gives me different possibilities to compare these things. And this one here, there's 2 levels. This is a key collision. It has the possibilities to be done on these different ways. And then there's another method here called nearest neighbor, which are a mathematical formula. And normally you run through all of them and see what's possible here. It's rather obvious that these 2 things are identical, and it's in fact nearly impossible to different. And because we choose all of them, there are no clusters left to recluster. We then try the next thing, n-gram fingerprint, and you can see here we find some more which are obvious the same. They have spelled it with and without an E, and this is typically authorities or banks or others. They type in the title as they think it should be. They don't have it in a standard way. So we select all this time, and we merge, select it, and recluster. And we take the next possibility. And if you look down here, you can see even more. And all of them are pretty much the same. So we say select all, merge selected, and recluster. And we then say this one. This is compare it on the way it's pronounced in German language. So it's funny to see if we find anything. No, nothing is found. This is, I think, how it's pronounced in Russian language, and I'm not sure. We will say this is the same kind of guy. So we leave this open. There will always be some journalistic approaches on which are right to combine as the same title and which are not. We take nearest neighbor, and you see here we can be sure these are the same. Okay, we take this and this also. So we merge, selected, and recluster. And then we take another mathematical method, and this is, yeah, we say this is also the same. So now we have used some, you can say, in intelligent way of comparing stuff, and found that this is the different way they are spelling it. It could be merged into a smaller group. We close this one then. And if we, you can say this first one, you have 140 rows. Now we have 99 choices. So it has been grouped in a better way. So we are pretty sure that it's fine. We still have the possibility to group it even more. We could look over here where it's in alphabetically order, and we can see that this architect perhaps should include this should be included in the former one, and we can do this manually. If I go up here, say edit, I copy the content here, I say cancel, I go down here, say edit, I change it to architect, and you can see it's now 98 choices. You might look down, and this is important if you really want to be sure of how things are done. We can edit this one, copy it, go down to the next, yeah, edit it. Oh, this is not the right, this one. Yeah, perhaps we will say this is the same kind of job. This is kommerciante, and I say this is the same. And look what happens with the number of choices. It goes down to 97 choices. So I'm still editing, and when I'm satisfied, I will, in this case, just export the data, and we take this away, and here you can see we have export, and I can decide to export it in Excel, and it's, you can see that have our edited tile here. We will transfer this to this in all the files where we want to edit them. And this is a very small data set, and you might have been able to do it by hand or do it in Excel, but it's to show you the method behind OpenRefine for if you're working with 20,000 cells and need to clean them. It's totally necessary to use a system like this to do it much better. If we go down, yeah, again, then let's try another one. And I can see there are some chat. I say, yes, you need to do something manually as well. Great. We will go further to the next one, and this is very short. I will just show you an issue which might give you problems, and we take this doctors from Berlin. This has been scraped by someone, and you can see that OpenRefine, by looking into the data, identify the character encoding to be this UTF-8. And if you click on this, you have a lot of different possibilities to weight other encoding if the way data are imported here shows error in the coding. This is a very easy way to change it immediately. I'll not do this, do any more with this. This is just for showing that it identifies the coding, and if OpenRefine do it wrongly, you have the possibility to do it manually here. We click on choose file, and I take this one, depths, and we click on next. And here you have an American file where you can see people ordering different kind of stuff, and you have the date for ordering, and you have their birthday here, and you have the zip code. When it is green, it has understood this is a number, which a zip code in fact is not. And when this is not colored, it hasn't understood this is a date. We could start creating the projects, and then I will show you some issues. You could start making a copy of this column. So I go to edit column, I said add column based on this column. Somebody asked this question before. So here I make a copy of the column birth. Birthday, and I call it let's trace. We try again based on this column. Then we call it birthday 3. And things are not coming into the birthday column. So we will try to extract data from the birthday column into a new column. So we will do another try. We will take birthday, we will say edit column, add column based on this column. We will call the new one birth, and then we will value and slice, and we then have to define where to cut the first column. So we start with parentheses and start with character 8 ending with 10. And this is strange. We try not dot but comma. Okay, now it's working. So what we are doing here is we are extracting the date in the month. So this is the date of the months where they were born. So perhaps we will call it date birth and click OK. And then we have the date in the month where they were born, and we will do the same again now. Click here, click edit column, add column based on this column. We will call this month, birth, and we will say value slice, and we need to say, see where is the month placed, and it's from 4 to 7. And you can see we get the 3 letters in the month here. So it seems to be right. So now I have the month of the birth, I have the date of the birth, and now I want the year of the birth. So I click on this, edit column, add column based on this column. And we say this is named year, birth, and we will have value, slice, and the year is from 24 to 28. And we get the year by doing it like this. Now we have the year, the month, and the date, and we can combine this into something that OpenRefine can understand. It's really problematic. It can't understand these way birthday are imported from Excel. Sometimes it goes rather easy, but in really many cases it gives you trouble. And showing you this way of slicing data from columns in OpenRefine is really, really useful. It's perhaps it can be challenging to understand the first time, but it's something you really need to know before you work with OpenRefine and can solve problems. Then we wanna add a new column, and we wanna merge these 3 columns into a 4th column. So we will go in here, say again, add column based on this column, and this time we will call it birthday 4, hoping we will get it right. And I now go out to the file to import this one, which make it much faster. It always like this, that you copy paste things you have from one place to another. You have let's check if this is date birth is written with capital letters, so I have to change this. So this is date birth. Month birth is written with capital letters, and year birth is not with capital letters. So what you see that this formula combines the content of the different cells we just created, year birth, month birth, and date birth, and it combines it in a way that is understandable for OpenRefine. This is a regular date format in OpenRefine. We have the date of the month, we have the month, and we have the year. So I say okay. And we have it here, birthday 4. And we have it now in a format it can understand. So I can go in here, I can make what it is, edit cells, comment transfers. I can change this into date. And now all these things are changed to a date. shown that it's green now. So now our OpenRefine understand this is a date, and it's possible to do the same with the order date. And you will be able to see how old was this person when they ordered something, and you can make all kind of analysis on this. You can change the name and see if it's women or men, and how old the different sexes are when they are ordering these things. This about handling date is so important. So that's why I've been using so much time on it. I think I will do it one more time, so everybody have seen it twice. I will go into the chat and see if, okay, somebody has shared this. That is great. No more questions in the chat. We take the order date. We perhaps edit column, and we go down, remove this column. It wasn't working, doing any good. We go down, edit column, remove this column, it's gone. So what we have now is a birthday, and here we have the birthday in date format, made by these 3 helping columns. And we do the same here. Order date, say add column based on this column, and we say date, order, and value, slice, and hopefully we are hitting it right here. It's working again. It's the same place. That's great. So we say yes. We take a new one, and we say add column based on this column, and this is month, order, and value, slice, and we say 4 to 7. This is also working great. And then we take the last one, edit column, add column based on this one, and we say year, order, and value, slice, 24, 28. And now see there are some problems down here. This one is only showing us 3 numbers, 199. And the reason for that, if you look out in this field, is that this is the standard Eastern time, or a way to either with the space before or after. So we say yes. Now we have all the years here, and we go out here and edit cells, common transform, tram leading and trailing white space. And now we have removed all the spaces, and we will be able to make a new column with the order date in right date format. So we go in again, add column based on this column. We call the new column order, perhaps should say date order. And I go into my plan and see what's the here we have a formula for doing this. And I think again we have date order, date order is with not with capital letter, but month order are with capital letters, and year order are with capital letters. So we try this one, and now it's working. We have all the dates here, and what this one is saying is that it should take the content of the cell of date order, and it should be the value, and it should add a space, and then it should put the content of the cell month order as a value and add a space, and then it should put the content of the cell of year order as a value. So now we get the things exactly as they are in the different cells and divided by a space. And we have it here, and we go down again and make this common transforms and change it to a date. And now we have the birthday and the date of the order, and we can calculate the year they were when they made the order, or how many years they were when they made the order, or whatever, how many years they are today, or whatever we want. If we want to calculate the year of yeah, 4 questions here. One is asking, how do you know the numbers to add after slice? Oh, and one have answered it already by counting the number of characters. And let's go in and try to see how it's working. We take this one again. And we add a column based on this column. And we say, this is year. And it's order. And I write value slice. And I could start counting. But I could also start with a guess, saying I think it's 22 to 27. And I end with a parenthesis, and I can see now I actually get, here I have 2 characters too much, so I should change this to 24. And now I miss 1 here, and I miss 2 here, so it's very easy to see this should be changed to 29. Now we have everything. I hope this answers how I get the exact number here to put after slice. There's one more question. Thanks. Okay, that's really fine. What we can do is extracting things, and I can't remember the formula for that. In the bottom of the one of the files I have shared, the Google Doc, there are a lot of different links, and one are to all the different date functions that are available in OpenRefine, so you can take it from there. Oh, here it comes. I can see it is a little bit in the bottom. I actually had prepared. We go in here. We add column based on this column. You could, for instance, think, why aren't there a possibility to just add a column? And they haven't included this in OpenRefine. So if you just want to add a column, you always need to do it by add column based on this column, and then you can just delete value and nothing are in the new column, and we can call it year at order. And the formula which I took from my document for planning is here. It calculates the difference between one date and another date, and it deliver the number in year. And I could also change this to months or days, but if we should, what was it called? It was called birthday 4. So we need to change it to the right name of this column, and the order date, we actually called it date. And then it's very important to spell it right, date, order. And now it is not working, and the reason for that is I have really to look into it. Oh, I spelled birthday wrong in that column. It was shifted with the T and R. So I had to do the same here to get the right thing here. You always, when there are an error, has to look. I showed you how you change this formula to give you days and months and years. You have the whole formula here. You have it also in the Google Doc. And now it gives me the number of days the person was when he was making the order, and we change it here to months and to years, as this is what we want to see. If you want to calculate the days actually used for travel, you need to add the number 1 to it, because if you have 2 days, for instance, today and tomorrow, and you want to calculate the number of days you have been traveling, it will not be the day of tomorrow minus the day of today, meaning 1 day, but it will, you need to add 1. You have been traveling 2 days. And if you are traveling today from the morning to the evening, then you have traveled 1 day. Just to understand it mentally, you sometimes have to think about how to make small corrections to formulas like this. We say yes to this one, and you have the year as order at this place. So it turns it into a number where the date and the year here was understood as a string, because we hadn't say it should be transformed to an integer or a number. Okay, I export this again so you can see once again how export is done. I click on export. and it won't work. Now it's working. I say Excel 2007, and I say we export it with this typically OpenRefine way of showing it. So I save this one. I will be able to open it in Excel. Can people see it when I open it in Excel?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Great. We have the birthday here, which was the cell we were making. Our cell, we have some problem here, which we have to solve. It is because this one wasn't done quite right, and we need to then look into concrete what was the reason for this.
We can see the OpenRefine screen, Niels. So if you want to show the Excel sheet, you may need to like share
okay,
it.
Thank you. Can you see the Excel sheet now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, you can see one birthday was not changed in the right way. You get something which aren't understood as a date. And the reason for this is that this field has not is not an ordinary year format, and there has been some error inside the data, and you always have to check data when you have worked it like this. And sometimes if there's only one error, the easiest way to just change it manually instead of trying to figure out exactly the reason for this. But it's good to look into to these errors and understand what is the reason for them to occur, and be looking for them the next time. You should get into a state of mind where you are always aware of errors. And it's kind of a crazy person way of being. You're always looking for errors. And once I was at a birthday party, I was asking the host, who are we waiting for? And she answered, we aren't waiting for anybody. Everybody's here. We are just celebrating, drinking wine. And I then said, how come there's then one more plaque compared to the number of people in the room? So I count the number of plaques, I count the number of peoples, and I make these counts everywhere I am. And when I look at data sets, I always see how many rows are there in this file, how many different things are there, and check that I'm not losing anything when I go from one system to another. And it's a very big help when you're working with data and cleaning and trying to be sure that what you're doing is right. But sometimes it's not a very good social skill, but if you can make jokes with it, everybody will accept it. Yeah, we go back to OpenRefine. And I choose the OpenRefine screen and share this. Everybody see it now. We take another file and we can just go up here. Everything is saved. So next time I open this project, everything I have done will be here, despite I haven't just clicked on save project. It is saved. So now I choose another file, and we take this Congress junkets. And everything seems fine. So I just click here, create project. And we look at these things. These are different kind of travels from members of the Congress. And we also have the destination, and we have the sponsor of the travel. So we have very interesting data here. We have all the travels done by Congress members, when they departed and when they returned, and who paid for the travel. We have a name here of the person who filed the information on this travel. So there's a lot of interesting information in this. We can take this one. We could add a column based on this one, and we set filer 2, say yes, and we could then do the facet for this text facet, and I cluster this, and you see there must be many who have filed this, which perhaps have an interest in filing it and changing their name. We have this spelled on 2 different ways. We can see all of them are the same. So we merge this and reselect, and we try it again. And here it's also all the same. So I just do it fast, merge selected and recluster. We do it with the spelling. This might not be the same. So we will not use this one. We take the other way of working with it. Here we find someone new, and here we select all. This is normally not wise to select all. What you should do then is go through them one by one and check you are sure, because you can make totally bad decisions with just merge every one of these. We should have this one, ppm. It's taking some time for doing this. It's calculating how many changes should there be for making one of these cells identical with the other cell, and there are put some intelligence in how it measured. This is taking really long time, so it might not be worth waiting on. I just said close. So we haven't been doing it properly, but this will work for now. We could do the same with members. So we could split this by comma. So we have their last name and their first name in one column. We can do the same with the destination. So we have an idea of the destination. We can do the same with travel sponsor. So we will make a new column, add column based on this column, and we say this is sponsor 2. Okay, and I do the, and we can see there's so many way of grouping and merging data. Much faster getting the right structure and the right information into these data. And I close it because we're not doing it now. We try to see if this can be changed to a date immediately, or we need to do the hard work as I showed you before. We go down here, we edit cells, we make common transforms, we make toDate, and it could understand it. It was in a format where OpenRefine actually could understand it. We try also this one, edit cells, common transforms, and toDate, it could understand. And then we make a new column, based on this one. We call it travel days. And we take what we had before. This was calculating the difference in years. And then you can see how we can work with a formula somebody else made to us for making this fast. So what we will have here is return date. And what we will have here is departure date. And what we will have here will be days. And then we really hope this is working. What is the problem? Return date is right. Departure date is right. I'm not sure I can tell the reason why this is not working. It should be working, and then you should face the problem which I saw before, that we miss +1 in this formula. I will find the right formula and add it to the Google Doc, so you have the right formula there, instead of sitting here working intensively trying to figure out what is wrong when all of you are waiting, perhaps laughing. But you got the idea that if you have formulas like this, you just copy and paste them in and do the small changes that are necessary for getting the right output to this. And if we look on this file in a journalistic way, what you really want to see is, are there any of these congressional members that are a heavy traveler where others are paying for their travel? Are there somebody of the sponsors that are really heavy sponsors? Are there some of the destinations which are really popular? Are there some trips which are really, really, really long? And that might be an error. They might have errors in departure date and return date. But if there are travels where they have been away for half a year, it might be the case story we are running. And you could also see who are filing this. If somebody is really, really intensively filing information, about these travels, this might also be this. It's only preparing the way. And I think there are return day might be capital. Yeah, that's a good thing. Let's try if this is working. Oh. It is working perfect. It's such a lovely thing with the audience that are wise. And then I said +1, and you can see it added this extra day, and we have the right number of travel days here. So I click OK, and we will sort it as numbers, and we will have the largest first, as normally is the most interesting things in journalism. And we can see here that there are some that has been traveling for a whole year, and we might guess that this is an error in the typing in of year, and we really have to check it before we run the story about these people traveling a year away from the Congress. But if it's right, it's a damn good story. They are elected to the Congress, but they are traveling around, and where are they traveling to? Atlanta and Baltimore. It seems really strange if somebody would do a year travel to Baltimore. I think. Anyway, more questions? Now it disappeared for me. I stop share the screen and go back, and I look.
You can also turn on your video, Niels, and maybe you can take some questions. We have 12 minutes.
Yeah, and it's fine if you have any questions, or if you have, you can also type in a question in the chat, and I will be happy to answer. It has been very focused on the way you're using OpenRefine, and I really hope the combination of my Google Doc and the training material and the files will help you get into work with this and understand how you solve when you have a challenge in it. And if you have all this basic, it's not such a hard task if you face something else to make a Google search or search other places for answers on your problem. So, any questions? Nobody dare to ask questions in a session like this on video. It's always a challenge. It's also a challenge as a speaker. It would be lovely to meet in a room and do the training there and have a really hands-on session where you can try it out. But this will be after Corona sometime. We can do that. Okay, if I don't know. Oh, there are 2 chat messages here. It's somebody saying thank you. It's fine. Thank you for joining, everybody. I think if there are no questions, we should just say thank you to everybody and goodbye and leave it here. And you should always know there are a lot of people out in the world of investigative journalists and data journalists who would love to help you if you have any trouble in working with this. Would you add something, Mira?
No, thank you very much, Niels. I think everyone was pretty excited to join with you in this session. I think as there is no question, we can happily say goodbye to all. And you have another session back to back. So I think we can conclude here if you want.
Yeah, I don't think you should keep people if everybody is satisfied. It's
yeah. Thank you everyone.
Thank you everybody for joining. Hope you can use it, and good luck with everything. Bye bye.
Bye bye.